Okay guys, so here, myself and Bert, his new FSI here at the gym, are gonna go over core workout number 1 with you, okay? We started with number 2, now we're on number 1. Big thing with this one, I wanna emphasize with this video is the core warm-up, is the dead bugs. I see a lot of people flying through the dead bugs, which is not ideal. So I'm gonna give you a nice little way to not modify the dead bugs, but kind of change them up a little bit in order to make sure you're actually accomplishing a goal, not wasting your time flopping around on the ground. So I'm going to get my assistant Bert here. What he's going to do, go ahead, the dead bug, go ahead and lay down on the floor. Make sure you're in camera view here. I'll point the camera down at you. Hopefully I can get my, yeah, there we go. That's perfect right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do for Bert is I'm going to get him to take this band, put it underneath your low back, please. Just right underneath your back. Okay, so when you're doing the dead bug, I've mentioned before, I want you to squeeze your abs and kind of push your low back into the floor, okay? So if Bert's doing that, go ahead and get your knees up at 90 in the hip and the knee, get your hands above. If he's doing that correctly, I should be able to pull on this band, and as he goes into the dead bug, go ahead there, Bert, the band doesn't lose tension. If he was losing tension in his abs and letting his back arch, then I'd be able to yank the band out from underneath him, okay? So again, right underneath your low back. So that's it for the dead bug modification. Thanks, Bert. You can stand up. Next up, get in my frame here. Maybe I'll tilt that up a little bit. There we go. All right. So next thing we're going to go over is a kettlebell windmill. I'm actually going to use a dumbbell there. Today, have you done a windmill before? Let's see it. Let's just see the low windmill first, so it's in your bottom hand, not your top hand.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll show you that. So basically the easier version of the windmill, ideally it's up in your hand here, but we're gonna start with the easier one. Okay, I get my shoulders slightly wider shoulder width apart, or my feet, pardon me, slightly wider shoulder width apart. I'm gonna take the kettlebell out, or the dumbbell in this case, out here. I'm gonna put this hand up, and I'm gonna reach down as low as I can, and come back up. The harder version of that, just like that right there, same idea, but this hand just runs down and it comes back up, okay? So as you're doing it, go ahead and give me a couple there. I'll kind of point to you. You can go from up top there. Right, let's widen your stance just a little bit. You're pretty flexible, but you might not be as flexible as him. As you go and do this, you just want to make sure you're not getting a huge stretch kind of in here. Most of the movement should be happening from your hips, kind of turning out a little tiny bit, just like how this one hip's kind of sticking out here. That's what we're aiming for, okay? So we're gonna stay nice and solid through there. It'll be a little bit of a stretch for sure in through there. Other big thing, anytime he's got a kettlebell or a dumbbell above his head, he's staring at that thing. He's not letting it out of sight. You're gonna do 10 per side. Next thing, with that same weight, we're on the 20-meter section of the course there. He is going to do a 40-meter wader walk. So just over the head and go for a walk. Just like that. And just go to 10 and come around and switch hands, kind of turn around there, Bert. I didn't brief him on this. We're all flying by the seat of our pants. Just like that. So with the wader walk, he's making sure that his shoulders are relatively level, considering they're out, not in the same spot. Stay right there for me, will you, Bert? You're good right there. Thanks. Basically, I want his shoulders to be relatively level. He shouldn't be pushing super high up with his right side, his left side. He's nice and level, even though he is carrying a weight. His hips aren't doing anything janky. Next thing you're going to do, switch hands again. You're going to do a farmer's carry, single side. So again, just making sure the shoulders are staying nice and level there, okay, and his hips are nice and level as well. Again, the 25 pounds might be a little light for today. You can feel free to bring that weight up if you like. But do the first one at the lower end, and then if you want to do a little bit more, you can do a little bit more. Okay, big thing I don't want to see you doing is if the weight's super heavy and then you're really yanking up on it, your body's all askew. Next thing, we are going to do an asymmetric lunge. He's going to do 10 lunges on each side. So in your right hand, you're going to lunge down to the line. Left, right lunges. Perfect, just like that, just like any other lunge you're going to be doing. Go ahead and turn around and switch sides there for me, Bert. Just like that. Like with any lunge, we want to make sure we are loading the middle of that forward foot, not too much up on the toes, and not really a whole bunch on the heels either. And as he comes up, he's not like yanking up with one shoulder or whatever. The whole idea with this particular workout is a lot of anti-rotation stuff. We're loading up one side, not the other side. But again, just because you got a weight in your right hand, either up or down, you're not really janking yourself off to the side. That's why I want you to stay relatively light with this one to start. You want to go heavier next week? Totally fine. Okay, last thing we're going to do is a sit-up position hold. So I'm going to get Bert to do that. You guys know this one better than Bert, but I'll show it to you anyway. Go ahead and get up into a sit-up position. And we're going to kind of brief what that's going to look like. Okay, so I'll get you to push your knees together so your knees are touching. Perfect. And you're going to bring your heels a little closer to your butt, and then you're going to sit up. Perfect. Let's get you all the way up there. Awesome. Get your hands on the side of your head, elbows on top of your knees. So the reason they have you guys do this is obviously it jams up your hips, but it's actually a stressful stress position. It puts something in your brain that makes you not happy with this position. That's why it looks, elbows up a little higher. Yeah, perfect. That's why it looks and feels exactly like it does. It is on purpose for other reasons than it just jams up your hips. Take a break, Bert. You're gonna hold on to that for 60 seconds. When you're done, again, that position jams up your hips. I want you to pick a hip flexor or hip stretch, and you're gonna do that for 30 to 60 seconds per side. So my default one, go ahead and get into a half kneeling kind of hip flexor stretch. Yeah. So half kneeling position, and then he's just gonna squeeze his butt and bring his hips forward. So that's the default one I make you guys do. Whatever you want to do, if you want to grab onto that foot and kind of do like a couch stretch type situation, that one would feel tough for me on the gym floor, but he's younger than I am, so it's fine. He doesn't mind. Again, as long as you're squeezing your butt and bringing that hip crease forward, just like he's doing right there, that's perfect, okay? All right, you can take a break there, Bert. Thank you very much. All right, so you're going to do a hip flexor stretch, and then you're going to do, oh, sorry, I have the bird dog in there. You know, bird dog. Go ahead and get on all fours. Show me a bird dog. Big thing with this one is I should be able to take a cup of soup and put it on his back, and as he goes through, so go ahead and switch sides, alternate between each side. He's doing it slow enough that the soup doesn't spill all over him. I'm not going to get a cup of soup, but if I see you guys screwing this up, I might make some soup, so don't. His foot should never go much higher than his hip. I want you to think more about pushing out into this foot than going up, kind of thing. So again, you're going to use your glutes to push out into the foot, and again, your foot doesn't go much higher than the hip. Go ahead and bring your hands and foot like crazy high for me there, Bert. Show me what that looks like. Right, that makes his back arch, and we're trying to maintain a stable back position, okay? So we don't want to be doing that. Thanks, Bert. Stand up. All right, so that is it. Obviously, you guys just have interval running. You guys know how to run around in circles by now, so I will make a video for you tomorrow for tomorrow's workout. Thanks.